point. Just posted. Hey, Jose. Hey, Asher, what's up? Yeah. I appreciate that, Asher. I mean, whether or not the team wins or loses or is good or bad, there's always going to be content for me to make, so I'm never going to just, like, stop making content. Yeah, Asher, I'll find a way to make content as the off-season goes on, but obviously it's going to be a little more rare.
Yeah. Wagner Watch will instead include receipts as he goes to visit his general practitioner looking for some penicillin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Being like, okay, he's buying up a lot of penicillin, but unfortunately, we just don't see receipts from a local CVS. He's not buying Jimmy's. So unfortunately, he's probably going to miss a lot of the next season with super gonorrhea. Regular gonorrhea, they call it the clap. Super gonorrhea, now that's applause.
Yeah, Rev, right. I'm going to make a video tomorrow with my final word on that because a lot of people are going back and forth on it right now. A lot of people taking sides on that. All right, I have myself a bite already. Taking sides on whether or not the Holocaust actually happened. I need to make a video tomorrow clarifying my stance on that.
I'm going to put this shit to bed once and for all. 15-second video. Literally wooden doors. Hey, Tone, if they're our allies, why they keep bombing our ships? Look, all I'm saying is if the I in Apex stood for Italian, there's no way they'd let us get away with that shit.
Ooh, nice. Fat one. I actually get a lot of bites on the feeder rod. Hasher, it is very, very likely that I end up doing that at this point because, well, the dude played himself into it. It's becoming a real possibility that the end of the Wilson era could be much closer than a lot of us expected. So that may very well be something I do next year, but that's a long way away. I don't even want to think about that right now.
Would you consider it an accurate statement to say that the season began with people saying, let Russ cook, and once we finally did, he started a grease fire?
Yeah, no, he started a, yeah. Something like, well, the thing is, actually, the first 6 weeks of the season, we had one of the best offenses in NFL history, but I think what happened was because of the lockout where teams couldn't practice, defenses were just really bad at the start of the season. Because when you don't have time to... We've seen this before. When teams don't have the ability to practice before the season, defenses come in completely unprepared.
It's a lot more cerebral than playing offenses. Would you agree with that? That's why a lot of the best defensive players... well, let's... I'm not even going to get into it.
Yeah. I think I know where that one was going.
It does bring up an interesting question, though. Why aren't there more Asian NFL players?
They're usually not big enough.
Yeah, but I mean, you could be a kicker. I mean, they're letting fucking girls kick in college. Why wouldn't an Asian guy be
Young
like,
Hoku, Korean kicker.
I'll take it.
He actually made the Pro Bowl this year, although he shouldn't have.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to compare Asian men to females of all races right there. I'm not saying Asian men are feminine. What I'm saying is that the idea of women competing in any sport at all with men is such a complete joke that it beggars the question, why would people be more willing to have a woman be on their team instead of an Asian man? To me, that's just baffling. So then I brought up kicker because I'm all like, you don't need to be that athletic to be a successful kicker. You just need to be able to kick accurately and strong.
You know, Tumbo, I wonder if it's just because he has a famous father. I wonder if maybe that's the simplest explanation. Maybe people want to consider Brian Schottenheimer to be their head coach because of his dad. Because he hasn't really earned it with his results in the NFL.
I mean, to be fair, neither did his dad.
His dad is a legend.
I mean, Marty Schottenheimer was an excellent regular season coach, but I can't imagine any coach who choked harder in the playoffs.
Yeah, miserable.
On such a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Marty Schottenheimer and choking in the playoffs is as iconic a duo as Tom Landry and his hat.
Basically.
You just can't think of one without thinking of the other.
Come on. Give me a bite. Give me a bite. No, get off the bottom of the lake.
Now, at least I'm catching walleye, but they've been pretty small. But, you know, whatever. Got to start using some of my money on this durability here. Here, I can repair my shit.
Okay, come on. Come on. Come out of the lake, you son of a bitch.
Who does number 2 work for?
Hey, Michael.
I wonder if any of your viewers have ever even seen Austin Powers.
Probably some of them. Hasher, I'm not saying that Jamal didn't give up some stuff out there today. He definitely did, but he was gutting it out there with 2 bad arms and bad fingers. Like, I don't think today's the day to slander Jamal Adams' name. I'm not saying he played a very good game. I think he made a lot of mistakes, but he gave it his all out there, and that's more than I can say for a lot of players on this team.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you lose a game in the playoffs, you can't blame just a single person.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how bad their performance may have been.
Unless that person is Danny Green.
Basically, because you do need to consider things in terms of context. The Seahawks just lost in the first round here to a team that lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
Vicariously, the Seahawks are worse than the Jets. If the Jets played the Seahawks in the playoffs, they would have lost.
J-E-T-S, Jets.
And basically.
Oh,
so I mean, when you're staring that down, especially considering the Rams, I mean, we can meme all we want about the Rams are better off without Goff. But I mean, that's still the backup. Even if the dude's literally more talented than Jared Goff, he still hasn't played as many games this season.
He got sent to the hospital almost immediately, and Goff had to play.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, because I didn't watch that game.
Yeah.
So, okay, so never mind. They lost to Jared Goff. That's even worse.
Well, they lost to Jared Goff with 9 functioning fingers.
Yeah, I mean, whoever the Rams end up playing next, they're not going to win.
Oh, yeah. They lost Aaron Donald today, too. That was the other sad thing. We still couldn't beat him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pathetic. So, yeah, trying to blame one guy on the Seahawks for that is no. There's plenty of blame to go around here.
Yeah, but I think there are people who I could blame, but they make like $2 million. And then there are people like Wilson who make $35 million. So...
Yeah, I think most of the blame here goes with the Seattle Seahawks general manager, whoever that is,
John
being
Schneider.
so over. Yeah, he is the one who put this team together. You know, he put his stamp of approval on this final product. He should be ashamed of himself.
I blame the ownership for allowing male cheerleaders.
Yeah, what the hell is up with that? Because, I mean, the whole point of a cheerleader, it even says it in the name, it's to raise the morale of players. And also the fans. Who's getting excited for seeing a guy with pom-poms? That's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely one of the most strange things, you know, and definitely encouraged by those that wear the funny hats, is through repeated, you know, acceptance of LGBT stuff as more nonsense like this happens. It's like, you know, there's such a small fraction of the fucking population. How many gay dudes are actually out there? And of that fraction, how many of them actually want to watch football? And of that fraction, how many of them want to watch football who wouldn't be watching football if it hadn't been for the male cheerleaders?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is that moving the needle in any appreciable direction in terms of increasing viewership, increasing sales of merchandise, increasing anything?
This one's fighting like a mother.
Well, that's good. Just remember not to increase your drag. 4 is the...
Yeah, 4
is... as it goes. Any higher, it'll snap the line.
Yeah, Tumbo, it's hard for me to be mad at the defense right now. You're not going to be able to stop their offense every single time they get the ball. Eventually, the offense needs to do something to support them. Oh my god. This guy does not quit. I'm about to lose the line. Oh, shit.
Nice.
Oh!
Yeah, it's sort of like...
leader was broken.
Oh, sorry to hear about that.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of like in baseball. You cannot blame the pitching staff or the infielder's defensive capabilities when the pitcher pitches a fucking shutout through like 7 innings and then they end up losing by 2, but they lose 2-0. It's all like at some point you just need some fucking run support, you know? And I'm not saying that the Seahawks defense is incredible, but I'm sitting here saying like the point of defense and the reason that they say defense wins games is because you're expecting your offense to go out there and to put something on the board, and then the defense just has to keep the other team below that something. But if the offense produces 0, there's no way that you can win.
Yeah.
The best defense in the world will not win a game where the offense can't score points.
God damn it.
So then, if your defense isn't that good and your offense is still fucking up, you're not going to win games. In fact, you're going to lose very embarrassing games to an injured Rams team that lost to the Jets. What I'm looking forward to is seeing all the horrendously awful takes from complete chimpanzees who say shit like the Seahawks would have won this game if it hadn't been for COVID, because the 12th man of the Seahawks is the most important thing for them. You know, that whole retarded bullshit. Can't wait for that one.
God loves you. I'm going to have to disagree with you on that, but I appreciate the enthusiasm, I suppose. Unfortunately, I don't have the right equipment to fix my rod, so I'm down to 1 rod, but luckily it is the walleye catching rod.
Wait, your rod broke?
No, but I lost the leader and I don't have a replacement. I burned through.
Oh, alright, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm not saying the defense played perfect today, but they played good enough to win. This is not on them. That's why I don't even like having to say that, you know, Carroll probably needs to go too, because he did a good job with his defense this year, but I know as long as Pete's around, we're going to hire the same kind of offensive coordinator every time we go get a new one. We're not going to ever get the innovative guy because he doesn't want that. It's antithetical to what he wants.
I don't think any of your viewers know what antithetical means.
Yeah, well. They'll get over it.
See, this just confuses me so damn much. I don't understand it. There is no cooldown period from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. It's between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. right now, and I still have a cooldown. I don't get it. I really don't know what I'm doing wrong there. Okay, how many more days left? Stay 3 out of 7, so 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes.
But that fish, whatever the hell it was, that was some General Sherman's type shit.
It's
That,
probably a trophy quality fish.
mm-hmm. Well, Hasher, it's not like Greg Olson did anything this season for us to warrant that kind of attitude. I understand overall, maybe, but he didn't really do a damn thing for us this season that Hollister couldn't have done just fine. Well, yeah, Tom, but my Kupati needs to retire. Not just because he's bad now, but because his body is literally breaking down.
Yeah. Isn't his name Mikey Potty?
Mm-hmm.
He went potty.
Hey. I don't know what we do with Posick at this point because he didn't play very well ever since he got back from the injury, but we saw him play well to start the season. Tumbo, AB didn't want to come here. Brady jiggled his keychain at him and he went to Tampa Bay immediately after dancing with Seattle for weeks. He didn't want to come here. Brady had to say one word to him and he went running to Tampa Bay. We were never going to get AB unless Brady decided he didn't want him. Come on, let's get a bite. What's going on? Where are the fishies? If we got a true tight end, would we even use him? Like, it doesn't seem like our offense is capable of it, so I don't know. This is the longest I've gone without a bite at this lake so far. Are you there?
Yeah, I am. I'm just focusing on a couple of different things at the moment.
Come on. Come on in. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but every time Wilson threw the ball at Hollister today, the pass was off by like 3 yards. I don't know what to say about that. Because obviously it's not directly Hollister's fault, but is he just not in the right place? I don't get it. Yeah, if Schottenheimer doesn't go this offseason, then my ability to believe that this brain trust knows what they're doing and is going to be able to get this team back to where they need to be is going to be severely tested. I'm just not going to believe they know what they're doing anymore. Yeah, Hollister has done some nice things for this team, but overall now he's just like the guy who Wilson throws the ball to when he wants to make sure the pass goes incomplete. I had a Jets fan just comment on my video. Say like, man, I'm a Jets fan. I root for a team that went 2-14, and then I come here and watch you bitch about rooting for a team that went 12-4 and won the division. It's like, don't you get it? I would rather be in your position than mine. You're about to get, like, okay, maybe not the part where the Jets front office is completely incompetent and is going to find a way to screw this up anyway.
Right.
But you're about to get a generational QB talent. You're about to get the biggest college prospect since Andrew Luck, if not Peyton Manning. You're about to get a brand new scheme. You're about to get a brand new coach, coaching staff. You're about to get a new GM.
Right. Things are trending in potentially a positive direction for the Jets. What I think is more likely to happen, though, because I've heard this before, it seems like every single year this is supposed to be the biggest quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. Every year it's supposed to be the biggest quarterback prospect since Peyton Manning. You know, you always hear this kind of shit. Because, I mean, like, I like Tua right now, but I don't think he's lived up to the hype at all. And I'm even including the fact that he got injured, which is the whole reason they dropped to us in the first place. Because he was being hyped up as the greatest quarterback to ever live right away. And I'm all like, well, you know, obviously we haven't seen that yet, so, you know, still waiting on that shit. But that said, you know, the Jets fans, they have something to look forward to. They have something to be hopeful about. It's always better to be conducting a rebuild and hope that it's going to go competently than to be a middling team that is too old to suddenly, you know, get over the hump, find that last missing piece, and become a perennial championship contender, and is just good enough to where they're never going to be anything, you know, that they'll always be like right on the outside of the playoffs. You know,
Right,
they
exactly.
might make the playoffs every year, but you know, it's pointless. And I'm also sitting here laughing because it's like, look, okay, in terms of recent history, you know, the Seahawks have definitely been better than the Jets, but the Jets have a lot more positive history that they can look back on than the Seahawks do.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they only have the one Super Bowl title, but they have other stuff too. I mean, it's not. I mean, the Jets are historically kind of not stellar franchise, but they're certainly better than the Lions. They're better than the Buccaneers, another team that actually has won Super Bowl.
Yeah. And, again, it's the whole thing, oh, yeah, like you're bitching about losing in the playoffs, but my team sucked. And it's like, okay, if the Browns lose this game to the Steelers, what do you think the reaction from the Browns fans is going to be? They're probably going to be disappointed. They're probably going to bitch. They're probably going to be angry. And do you know why? Because they sucked for a long time and they feel like they deserve this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You usually have more to complain about when you don't suck ass and are the worst possible fucking team in the league, as opposed to, if you were...
Holy crap, a 5-pounder.
Almost. Yeah, trophy walleye. I'll take it. My point is, if you're trying to make people realize, change your perspective, things could be a lot worse. How do you define worse?
Mm-hmm. Like, at least let me go to hell so I can hang out with all the cool people. Don't leave me in purgatory.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
The biggest problem with going to hell is that you wouldn't be able to hang out with Mustache Man, though.
Tumbo, obviously getting a player like Dunlap in there does fix a lot of the stuff with the defense. So maybe Norton is just kind of a non-factor as a defensive coordinator. He's completely at the mercy of how talented his players are. When he has talented players, he can have a good defense. When he doesn't, he can't figure it out. Maybe that's the best way to put it. I don't know. I'm under the impression that he's under contract next year, so my first guess would be we extend him to move some of that money to future years, but I don't know. I think we could cut him and not owe him anything, so that's possible. He is getting kind of old. Come on in, buddy. Come on in. I almost got you. Almost got you. So after thinking about the movie I watched yesterday, I did kind of eventually land on I liked it. But you have to really be willing to pay attention and be okay with the fact that the movie doesn't particularly care if you understand what's going on. But I think I did like it, because I'm okay with stuff like that.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And I admire the fact that the dude made a film that cost $205 million that he knew most people were not going to care for and most people weren't going to understand. I think there's something admirable in that.
Christopher Nolan definitely cares about his art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the craft means a lot to him.
That's actually why the DC movie universe sucks, is because DC was at least intelligent enough to ask him. They were like, hey, please. Mm-hmm. They wanted him to be the one to do Man of Steel. Mm-hmm. But he said, I don't want to be the comic book movies guy. I've spent a long time in my career already devoting it to trying to make good films that I like. Mm-hmm. And especially since I write my own films, I don't want to be choking under this corporate horse shit. I don't want to be typecast as I'm the comic books guy. Mm-hmm. No. And in fact, I personally don't think that he trusts Zack Snyder and thinks that he's a good filmmaker, because Zack Snyder's not. And I can't believe that Christopher Nolan would think that he is. Mm-hmm. So I think he was so offended by what DC wanted that he intentionally sent Zack Snyder in there as a poison pill to be like, okay.
No, Zack Snyder would be good at directing music videos.
Doubt.
That's the best I can say, though. Okay, can I... If I leave, will I lose all the days that I built up? Because I want to leave to go get a new leader.
If you leave the map, then yes, it just ends your trip.
Oh, okay. I can't do
The
that.
only way to stay on your trip is to just fast forward to the next day.
Okay. Alright, well, whatever. I have one rod.
If you've at the very least made your money back, then that's something that you could do. Because, like, I'm rolling in profit right now. I made a ton of money, but, you know.
Okay. Ooh, I could do night fishing, but my net won't empty out, so... Oh, well. Night fishing looks juicy as hell on this map. I don't know, Tumbo. I'm a little worried about Lockett. He showed some signs of slowage this year. It could... Lockett might not have much left. I think his body is starting to catch up with him, and he's just a little too small to keep taking all these hits, so... I don't know if we can count on Lockett being a reliable starting receiver for very much longer, so I do have that on my mind. Michael, that's tough to answer right now. I'm kind of intrigued by Greg Roman, but he would probably be like a 1 or 2 year solution, and then you'd have to find somebody else. So it might be sexier to go get somebody from college who's a really good offensive coach as a coordinator. Somebody who's young and who can be there for a while. All right, come on, buddy. Come on out. Come on out. I got you. You're dead. You just don't know it yet. Yeah. I think I read once that Nolan made the Batman trilogy, or, well, I guess technically you could say the first 2 Batman films just to kill time. Because the movie he really wanted to make was Inception. That was the one he was really excited about. And he did the Batman stuff just to kill time, which, knowing him, makes some sense. It is kind of weird that he did do a comic book movie. I know he did it in a non-traditional form, but...
Well, the thing with Christopher Nolan, what he really likes to make his movies about, and when you think about all the movies as you watch, this probably makes sense. What he likes to make movies about is identity.
Mm-hmm.
And that always, in a way, it kind of always pointed that he would make a Batman movie. Because, Batman's whole identity thing, where he struggles to figure if he's Bruce Wayne or if he's Batman. And he knows that he's Batman. He says Bruce Wayne died, when his parents were killed when he was 8 years old. But everybody around him who loves him, they want Bruce Wayne to live. And that's, the point of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Like, I think somebody once said, I was reading an article about the Dark Knight trilogy, and he said something like, the Dark Knight trilogy, in large part, was the central question at the end of the Dark Knight trilogy was, should Batman exist? And often the answer was no. So yeah, he did it in a non-traditional way, and I think it's cool that he did. Like, can I tell you one completely meaningless and, pointless spoiler for Tenet?
Sure.
The main character in the movie never gives his name. He's only referred to as the protagonist. He does not have a name that's given throughout the entire movie. He's only referred to as protagonist. which I don't know if I've ever seen that before, so that's kind of cool, I guess.
The protagonist.
Yeah. You know, Tumbo, the thing I just don't understand is how can every other offensive coach in the league understand how to do it and ours just not know how to do it? It's bizarre. But it's kind of the same reason why I love Metal Gear Solid 2, even though I know it probably went a little too far with some of the shit it did. I love that Hideo Kojima made a mainstream game have cutscenes that are literally 2 hours long just because that's what he wanted to do. I admire that. I am sure the people at Konami really wanted him to not do that, but he did it.
Yeah, but it makes you wonder with everything else that happened. Was it courage or was it defiance?
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably him just throwing up the middle finger, if I had to ask.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played Death Stranding yet. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but it would be hard for me to really turn on Kojima because of how much I love Metal Gear. That being said, if I think Death Stranding sucks, I will have no problem saying that when I finally get around to playing it. I guess we all got to take back some of the things we said about Daryl Bevel. I'm not even saying, he needed to go when he went. It was time to do something different, but suddenly he's not looking so bad now, is he? It's like the Miss Me Yet George W. Bush billboard. Maybe it's not that bad.
Goddamn, dude.
Well, I think that was down in Florida or something. I mean, generally speaking, my opinion on things like that is just because one thing is bad doesn't make another bad thing good because it's...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
It's like when Red Letter Media was reviewing Rise of Skywalker, and, they didn't like it. They gave it a pretty bad review, but they were like, just because this movie is bad does not make the prequels good.
Right. A lot of people are saying that now these days, but there's a lot of reasons for that. Is that people are just, they're quote unquote appreciating the meme. And there's other folks who were so young, they grew up with these movies and they don't want to view them as bad.
Well, I saw The Phantom Menace when I was 9, and I thought it was awesome. But it's a bad movie. I have no problem admitting that now. I remember all the advertising and merchandise shit they had for that. They had the Pogs you could get with Pizza Hut pizza, the KFC stuff, McDonald's. We'll never see that again.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, guys, there's no point in trading Penny. You don't get anything with him. You can maybe package him for something else, but there's no point. You may as well just keep him and see what he can do. It's too late now. Yeah, Beanie, they have a habit of doing that. I don't know. I'm generally annoyed right now by life for assorted other reasons that have nothing to do with football, so maybe I'm slightly more annoyed by it than I normally would be, but at the same time, it helps you keep perspective because there's other stuff going on in my personal life that's more important than football, so I don't know. It's a contradiction. JC, like 4? It would be extremely painful. Bane posting. Yeah, Insidious, and I get that. I mean, it's not like you can ever tell somebody that you shouldn't like something. Like, if somebody says, I like watching the Star Wars prequels, you can't, like, there's nothing you can say to that.
Right. I like Ike, and there's nothing that you can convince me with to not like Dwight Eisenhower.
Mm-hmm.
Most of what I was doing was I was alt-tabbed trying to entertain myself while, because I had to fast forward time to pass to another day. And now I've got that 90-minute wait time before I can fast forward again. So I'm like, okay, well, this is... Let me just wait until it's peak hours.
All right. Is that going to take a terribly long time?
No, it's already peak hours now.
Okay. Yeah, Big Sam, for me, when I'm watching sports, I get really mad during, and then once the game's over, I just let it go and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think it's important to be able to do that. Honestly, even when we lost the Super Bowl 6 years ago, I got really mad for like 15 minutes, and then I moved on.
Yeah, I moved on from the Heat losing the finals pretty much immediately because I was obviously disappointed. But I'm like, well, you know,
You were outmatched. You were outmanned.
And you know, the refs and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I'm not even kidding. You know, the NBA, we're not that far removed from the Tim Donaghy scandal. And, you know, nothing that we've seen in basketball since has done anything to show that he was the only crooked ref and that the problem's gone. You know, if anything, it's probably just worse now.
I wonder what that guy's up to these days in prison.
I think his prison term ended really soon. Because he's...
Okay.
Yeah, he was out back in 2014. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, back when LeBron was on the Heat, he was all like, yeah, this is how, you know, signaling how, you know, different playoff series, different games were rigged kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty funny. But, I mean, it's a lot like election integrity. I guarantee you, you know, 2022 and onward, people are going to be saying, hey, you know, these elections are definitely safe and secure. And it's all like, well, you know, we're not that far removed from 2020, which was obvious bullshit. Nothing's changed, and you're not doing anything to show that it has changed. I mean, Tim Donaghy, he even said during his whole trial, he's like, yeah, you know, I'm not the only ref that does this, and he named names. He said fucking everybody does it, especially Dick Bavetta, which would make a ton of sense, because just about every crooked fucking thing you can think of, Dick Bavetta's been involved with, especially some of those games that Tim Donaghy was involved with that we know were rigged. So it's like, okay, the NBA hasn't done anything to show that things have changed. It doesn't have anything, nothing's changed to inspire confidence that these games are better. And then you think about how often certain teams just keep making it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look, there's no amount of referees being crooked that just wills that ball from Steph Curry into the hoop from fucking half court.
Mm-hmm.
But, how about, what's his face? The idiot. Draymond Green, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
How about him not getting tossed out when he kicks dudes in the balls? Then the one time he finally does get tossed out, the Cavs end up winning that fucking series, being the only team to ever come back down 3-0.
Yeah, or 3-1.
Yeah, that's it, sorry. How much money do you think Adam Silver made by betting against the Warriors? Because, again, how could you possibly think that these games aren't fixed when they legalized sports betting and Adam Silver made a press conference where he was talking about how excited he was that sports betting was legalized? If Pete Rose did what he did nowadays, he wouldn't even get suspended, let alone banned for life. And that's probably what it was more than anything else. LeBron, I think, just had the pure raw talent to be able to win the championship in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And those games were fucking close. But they got swept anyway, because I wouldn't be surprised if they just handed it to San Antonio. Because this is a great final setup. San Antonio, Cleveland, no matter who wins, we can tell people small market teams have a chance in the league. But they just went to LeBron and they're like, sorry, kid, you haven't paid your dues yet.
You don't need to rig a game to get Eric Snow and Zydrunas Ilgauskas to lose a game, I don't think.
Granted, but again, those games were really close. That was where the LeBron's a choke artist narrative started, because he missed a couple of game winners. So the fact that the game was close enough at all is what I'm talking about, is that you don't have to... You don't have to make it obvious. You just got to keep it close.
I'm an idiot. I accidentally went to 5. God damn it.
5 a.m.?
No.
Oh, the drag, you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
God dang it. I'm a moron.
It happens.
I miscounted how many times I hit that. Gus Bradley is good at evaluating and finding talent, so I would rather have him back than Dan Quinn, but I'm not terribly excited about either.
Yeah, but you know what he's not good at? Winning.
You have to remember that. Beanie Wilson's not really mobile anymore. He's too fat. He's like James Harden.
Yeah, truth be told, I think at this point we're more likely to see Phillip Rivers take off than Russell Wilson.
They're saying that Rivers doesn't want to retire, but the Colts don't want to keep him, so he might be on another team next year.
Why the hell wouldn't they want to keep him? Who are they going to replace him with?
Some rookie, probably. Or the guy they drafted in the 3rd round, who I already know for a fact is going to be a bust. Because I watched every game he played in college.
This is the thing that kills me, man. There's so many teams that have this mindset, we just got to get that franchise quarterback. And it's all like, you fucking idiot. Even if you fucking shot in the dark, you actually get the bullseye, you draft a dude who's worth that position, there's no guarantee that he's going to stay. Just look at Deshaun Watson. Do you think he's going to spend the rest of his career in Texas?
No, probably not. Especially not the way they're treating him.
So I'm sitting here like, look, you're the Colts right now. Let's say you roll the dice and you actually get lucky enough to get...
Dude, you're cutting out pretty bad right now. Huh, okay. I think it's a little better now.
What's up?
No, you were cutting out a little bit there.
Oh, sorry.
I think you're good now.
What I was going to say is the Colts. let's say they actually roll the dice and get lucky here. They draft a kid, and he's, the new franchise quarterback. Shouldn't they remember the lesson of Andrew Luck? There's no guarantee he's going to stay with you forever. Keep Phillip with you right now. What do you possibly have to lose? You could draft somebody, sure. I mean, they have a first-round pick, don't they?
I think so.
It's not like all the talent leaves in the first 3 picks. There's plenty of talent left.
Rivers just doesn't want to go home because of all his kids. He just wants to keep playing so he doesn't have to go home to his 11 kids.
But if he went home, he'd go home to his wife and he'd make 12 kids and then 13 kids.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't help but respect it and almost envy it. It might be a little weird, but he had all his kids with one woman, and he seems very happy to keep producing more, so I don't know.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm like 99% sure the reason that people razz him about that shit is because he's white.
Well, I mean,
if he and his wife were both black, all the kids that they have, the fact that they're still together, people will be applauding it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think people do applaud it. It's just a meme. It's like how Antonio Cromartie has 9 kids with 9 different women, and Sean Kemp had like 8 kids with 6 women or whatever. It's like, and then Rivers.
Yeah, Dwight Howard has a ton of baby mamas and lots of bastard children.
Yeah.
And people give him shit for it, but usually people say, "Hey, leave him alone," when you do that kind of shit. I'm sitting here like, imagine if he still had those 16 kids, but they were all with one woman.
Yeah, imagine the clown car of a vag that woman would have to have in order to pull that off.
A lot of it's from the media. Wants to destroy the idea of marriage being a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
They want to destroy the nuclear family. And, just ask yourself, speaking of the media, ask yourself the question.
Mm-hmm. Ghost, I don't know. It's going to be kind of a weird thing because this offseason, it's going to be a little weird because there's not going to be a ton of opportunity to get rid of people and bring in new people because of the COVID crap.
That's what I feel bad.
Go ahead. No, I just said I really do expect Schottenheimer to be let go at some point, though.
Probably. No, I feel bad sometimes when I red pill people because, once you've taken the red pill, you can't stop seeing it. Like, I feel bad force feeding Nicholas the dog pill because he's going to see it everywhere he goes now.
He's better off, though, isn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. Nah, the other day I was on Tinder and I see this broad. Her tags: feminism, Black Lives Matter, dog lover. I was like, oh god. Profile pictures of her with a fucking husky. I'm all like, every time.
I do too, Levi, but I don't know if it's realistic. Man, these fish are so fucking fat, dude. Now, the problem is, Tumbo, can Pete Carroll coexist with an offensive coordinator who will do the things that we want him to do? Because, at the end of the day, Schottenheimer is just an extension of Pete. And the odds of Carroll going out there and getting some great, young, whiz, genius, guru offensive coordinator is low because that's not how he rolls. Because to him, that style of playing is antithetical to winning because in his NFL it was, but it's not anymore, so that's the issue.
I'm starting to realize the delicate balance with your rig setup, setting up your tackle. Because now that I know about the whole there's not enough line tension, so then you lose the fish.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you had a setup like you're trying to catch really heavy fish, like you're trying to catch the 150-pound plus catfish, right? Now you got that kind of setup. Imagine you show up here, and what you're trying to fish for specifically with that rod would be the northern pike
Mm-hmm.
that weighs less than a pound. How could you possibly have any tension on that line at all?
Mm-hmm.
When it's set up for you to catch a fish that weighs 150 pounds, like it wouldn't work. So now I'm starting to realize that, because I was always thinking the bigger rod is better because, it's stronger. Now I'm realizing I'm like, there wouldn't be any tension in the line, though. So you'd have to have separate rod setups, because, like, imagine, you just want to keep coming back here to fish for walleye because this map's nice and peaceful and walleye's good money. You just fish until you get a full net, even if your net capacity is like 200-300 pounds or some shit. Just come here and you fish the lake out. Well, then, you'd have your big fucking thick meaty rod for catching fat fish, but you'd still want to keep a rod like the ones we got right now so that you could catch this walleye. I'm still just trying to find the sweet spot in terms of the effectiveness of everything, like what their stats actually mean. Because as it is right now with this setup, we could max out the drag on the walleye. The thing is that the line won't take it. So we probably, with this same setup, if we just upgraded the line, we'd be fine, I think. But I know yours is probably a lot like mine, where the rod and the reel both are taking some decent durability hits. The rod more than the reel. My reel's at 77%, but my rod's at 66. It's just like
my rod's still at 86. I'm doing okay.
I've definitely made my money back.
Oh my god, this one. Wow.
Sitting on some tasty profit.
Come on, come on. This one's a fighter. This one might be big. If I can actually get him in here, hopefully.
Right.
This one's a fighter.
I believe in you. You can do this. Oh, this doesn't have anything to do with Fishing Planet, but it's an opportunity for me to tell you about U4. Development is when you click on a province, you might have noticed it before, but it has these numbers up at the very top of the province
those.
list.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
Yeah, that have arrows right next to it. Oh, so you have been developing? Okay,
Yeah.
that might actually be what you've been spending your mana on. Well, that being the case, then what you want to do is you want to find your province that has gold in it, because gold mines are really good. When you develop the diplomatic development of the province, it enhances the gold mine. And the gold mine just gives you pure cash, is what it develops. It raises your inflation to have that, but if you have anything that reduces inflation, then it's okay. But yeah, that's actually how a lot of the countries in the game that become really strong, that's actually how they become strong. Like Austria has a gold mine, and that's how they became very powerful in real life, was because they had the most profitable, I think it was a silver mine. They had the most profitable silver mine in the world. They were rich as fuck. So between that and their diplomatic strategy of having lots of marriages with other countries, they built an intricate web of alliances, and they had a very robust economy. So they were able to hire a lot of Italian mercenaries to fight their wars for them. and a lot of countries didn't want to fight them because they were related to them.
Mm.
So if you and this also this is how Spain became so strong as well, is because they have a gold mine in Spain, and when they went to colonize nations in the New World, they colonized in Mexico. And the thing with Mexico is that Mexico has a shitload of gold mines,
Mm-hmm.
and Spain just had so much gold that they actually caused a huge problem with inflation in the country because everything was backed by gold, and suddenly they introduced a ton of new gold into the economy. So the British got really pissed off over that, and they started hijacking Spanish trade fleets, and caused a lot of problems. I mean, that's how the golden age of piracy even came about into being, was because they'd go loot those trade ships, and those Spanish galleons just had so much gold on board.
Yeah. Do you know how heavy, like, a standard brick of gold is?
I know exactly how heavy a standard brick of gold is, because when they sell gold bricks, they sell it by the weight.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it would depend on what you're looking for, because,
Yeah.
you know, gold's price is determined. Yeah, it's a whole complicated thing. I'd have to figure out by.
Yeah. Because in the movie last night, actually, there are several appearances of gold bars, and people are just picking them up, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're too heavy to just be carrying around like that.
Well, gold is pretty heavy. It's pretty dense, but it's also soft, so you can get a good grip on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, here, let me check.
Like, there's one scene where somebody picks up a gold bar and, like, hides it in his clothes because he's trying to get away with it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't work.
A standard gold bar is 7 by 3 5/8 by 1 3/4 inches, according to the U.S. Mint. Weighs about 25 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
25 pounds isn't bad to pick up with one hand if you lift weights. If you don't, if you're dainty, then 25 pounds may seem like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like me, when I go to the gym, I'm used to one-handing 45-pound plates. So, like the gold bar, I would.
But you couldn't just stick it in your pocket and, like, try to sneak it out someplace.
No, putting it in your pants pocket would be an awful idea, because you're putting 25 pounds in your pocket.
Yeah.
Your pants would sag really hard.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not a problem with the film. Most movies do stuff like that. Like, you know, another example movie last night, they had a silencer on a pistol, and it made the gun basically completely silent. And of course, that's not how it works.
Yeah, that's not. There's actually a really good video on YouTube I saw the other day. It was John Wick if silencers work or rather suppressors work the way that they're supposed to. Because they had this scene in one of the John Wick movies where he and another guy are having a shootout in the middle of a crowded mall, but since they both have suppressors on, no one even notices that there's gunshots going on. But they increased the volume to make it more along the lines of how a suppressor actually sounds. So that it made everyone in that crowd look fucking insane, because they're just ignoring this gunfight taking place. Okay, so here it's John Wick.
Yeah, real silencers are a good 40 years behind Hollywood. Well, Beanie, we can't blame the opponent we drew on what happened. Okay? We wouldn't have beaten anybody the way we played today. It doesn't matter who we played. We played a Rams team that was, by the way, short-handed. We played a Rams team today that didn't even have their players. So, I don't want to hear, oh, if we had gotten to play the football team, we would have won. We should have intentionally lost so we could play the football team. No. We got a gift today in the form of their QB and their star defensive tackle going down, and we still couldn't get it done. I would love to trade Bobby for picks, but nobody's going to trade for that contract. There's no reason for Penny to not be back. He's on a rookie deal. I don't even think we save any money if we cut him. We may as well bring him back. We have nothing to lose.
Okay, I'm going to leave here because I want to check some stuff in the store.
Oh, okay. Aren't you going to lose your pass?
Yes, but here's the thing is that as long as you make your money back, there's nothing wrong with leaving. Okay. And I made my money back a long time ago. I got 14 grand right now. Mm-hmm. And it only costs probably around 5 grand to come here.
Okay.
For multiple days to be able to make your money back.
I would hope so, Sam. I mean, we're obviously going to lose at least one starter and possibly 3.
Oh my. I'm just covered in money. I love it.
Okay, James. Well, you would have to sync it up right. I don't know very much about Trevor Lance, Daniel, so I can't offer anything there in terms of whether or not I specifically like Trevor Lance, but if he's a good prospect, yeah. I mean, you're getting 10 years younger. I would do that. Insidious, Shell's probably going to stay. He's under contract for another year. He outplayed his contract. You can't get rid of every offensive lineman at once. Or else, even if you get good players, they're going to take forever to gel. They're going to take forever to figure out how to play. And then you're going to have a dead quarterback because he's going to get hit so much. Yeah, Daniel, I don't know. I maybe Wilson can be fixed, but is it worth it to fix him? Like, is it worth it? Because even if we fix him, it's not like you're going to get the greatest quarterback in the league. You might get a good quarterback, but you're not going to get an MVP. He's too short. His athleticism has left him. Like, even if you fix him, he's still a second-tier QB. So I really kind of feel like it's not even worth it, but I really don't think he's tradable right now because of that big contract. I don't think this team would be willing to trade him, which I understand even if I don't totally agree with it, but I don't know. All right. My net is full. Well, I have 1 pound left, so I can catch one more fish. All right, I'm going to catch one more fish, and then I'm going to call it a night. All right, Snacks?
Okay.
James, obviously Trevor Lawrence, but tough to get him. Yeah, Insidious, where were the double teams? Why can't you double team Aaron Donald? Jesus Christ. Yeah, Daniel. I like DJ Reed. He messed up today, but the game was lost before then, guys. Don't people getting mad about that fumble? It's kind of like the people who are getting mad at Metcalf for dropping that pass in garbage time. The game was already over. Can you get mad about the stuff that happened when we still could have won the game?
Yeah, it's like getting mad. Imagine for a second you're the German High Command of World War II. You lose the Battle of the Bulge. Imagine getting mad over that. War's already fucking over. Like, no chance. No chance you're winning this shit.
It's like getting mad at LeBron for missing a free throw when his team is down 20 with 10 seconds left. Like,
yeah,
the game's already over, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. How do they define moderately big fish? That's my question. Fuck it, I'll go with it. Let's rock. Tasty. All right, let's give this a shot. But just in case.
Yeah, Daniel, I'm inclined to agree, and a lot of people who watch my videos and are in my streams make a lot of excuses for Wilson, and most of them are very valid, but my thing is, when you're making $35 million a year and you're eating up such a big part of the salary cap, then part of what you have to do is say, you know, I'll overcome these shortcomings. If the play call is bad, I'll change the play, or I'll execute the bad play call so well that it'll still work. You know, that's what greatness is all about sometimes.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I agree. Keep saying the backpack's full. I don't want to hear that shit. My backpack is not full. I literally don't have anything in it.
I mean, Daniel, it was the same crap we've seen from Wilson for the last 2 months. It's not like this was new. It's not like he went out there and sucked after winning MVP.
Okay, I understand now. That's why my backpack's full. It's because of my other rod. Okay. That in the backpack.
Is it a crime to bet on sporting events? Yes. Oh, sorry.
That's good shit. Yo, this kind of sucks. When you have in wheels of spool or spools of line, you can't combine stuff that's the same size.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks. Not happy about that. But it is what it is, I understand. So yeah, just in case this ends up being bad. But hopefully it won't. Time's it? Almost. Alright.
I mean, Beanie, I seriously doubt Marquise Blair is good enough to where he can actually, like, change the fortunes of a team. He's not Jamal Adams. You know, you need to be a player like a Jamal Adams or a Jalen Ramsey to, you know, drastically affect a team's fortune from that position. you know, I'm not saying anything bad about Blair. I like him, and it'll be cool if he's here. But
Right. I understand what you're saying.
mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to fast forward to the next morning to sell my shit, and I'm going to get out of here.
Okay.
Oh, I can't fast forward yet because I can't do it. Well, whatever. I'm leaving anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, fair enough.
Um,
Okay. Have a nice day. Hey, you caught a trophy walleye. Nice
yes,
job.
I did.
4 1/4 pounder. That's good.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming out to the stream tonight. Late night stream, but it's Sunday tomorrow, so who gives a shit?
Sunday.
I will see you guys later today. Peace out. Go Hawks. And yeah, it's a tough day, but we'll all get through it together. And you know, like I've said before, there will be